they get tired.
Right.
But that was wonderful. The drive back was not bad.
Good.
I felt sorry for the people coming back into Southern California because there was an accident on the 10. It was backed up like literally 14 miles.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And I was yakking on the phone. My buddy's like, "Are they still?" I'm like, "Dude, it's still backed up."
That is something.
And it was 14 miles.
Jeez.
That's a long, and it was 100 degrees.
Yes.
It wasn't like 110, but it was 100.
That's what you worry about, right?
Yeah, and cars are overheating.
That's the thing. It's like, do you turn your car off? You really can't. You need the air conditioning, and then if you turn it off, will it start up again?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It was an issue.
Yeah.
But came back. It was good. It's wonderful to be back.
Good.
That's all I can tell you.
Good. Well, we're happy that you got home safely.
Yeah.
And we all have to thank Matt for the big storm on Saturday night.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because Matt got his car washed. How long had it been since you washed it?
I don't know, Tuesday.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you got
I got the unlimited. So yeah, that's one of those things I need.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I think I need.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to have a nice shiny car
especially
when
when
I'm
you're a
showing
real
people.
estate agent. Yeah. But you took the car and got it washed, and you sent me a picture, and you said, I'm doing my job, and then it stormed Saturday night.
Right, and it's because you and Jason were doing the naked rain dance?
We did not do the naked rain dance together, Matt.
Oh. Where's your dedication to getting some rain?
I want video.
Don't start rumors, okay? That's how rumors start in this town, right there.
It's not like Jason ever leaves the station, so clearly he was here, and you are only here for an hour a day, so
Exactly.
you were not here. Obviously, it was Saturday.
I was not, and I was actually in the valley. I missed the storm, unfortunately. I mean, here we do. We wait all season long for the big storm, and then I'm in the valley.
So that's why it works. It's because you're doing the naked rain dance in Scottsdale, and we got it up here.
Okay, enough naked talk this morning. You had
It's
an
only
eventful
beginning.
weekend, you said, that you
Yep.
have to share. Can you make it quick?
I don't want to. So I had 9 groups show up to the open house, which was nice on Saturday.
On Saturday,
was
wow.
good.
Very nice.
Almost all my snacks were eaten. There were no
Nice.
leftovers. So that's a good thing.
Good job.
And then, let's see. Yesterday, I went motorcycle riding
Yes.
in the trails and the mountains with my buddy Brian,
Yeah.
Chris, and Jason Thompson Handyman Services.
Look at all these friends Matt has all of a sudden. He gets a motorcycle and he's popular.
That's
you know,
the way it works.
you gotta pay them. But
Okay, so you have a motorcycle.
they're
right?
all seasoned off-roaders,
Yeah.
and I am not.
Right.
And so guess who fell over and hurt
You
themselves?
did not.
I did.
Matt, are you okay?
This is my knees.
What happened?
There was like a little, the ruts. So the vertical
Yes.
ruts are not good. And I got in one and I went kind of up a little. I wasn't going super fast. And I kind of went up on this berm and just fell over. And then I tucked and rolled. And my
You
buddy
did.
Brian behind me was like, wow, that was impressive.
Did he get video?
No.
You need a GoPro on your helmets, all of y'all.
I need to invest in crash bars if I'm going to keep laying down a 500-pound bike.
Matt.
Because, yeah, it hurt.
I bet it did hurt. See, that's what I'm worried about. That's my biggest fear. The only time I've really crashed on my mountain bike was a rut.
Oh, well, I crash on my mountain bike all the time, but this is not like riding a mountain bike at all.
No, but the
And
ruts are the same.
And the thing
it's
that's
the same theory, the same thing.
That's one of the things that screws me up is the brake is on the right for the front.
And you
And I'm
nailed
used to
that.
it being the back.
So you nailed the front one, and then the back went swinging behind. That's exactly what happened on
Yeah.
my mountain bike. All right, well, I'm glad you're okay.
I will keep practicing. I will get better, but I need to get some crash bars to protect because I broke the fairing again. And
did.
on a motorcycle from 2008, it's hard to find replacements.
Yes.
So,
Well, it's a good thing Drew's your friend. He can help in the parts department.
Yeah, Drew just goes, hey, you should just go buy a new one. That's how Drew does it.
A new bike?
Yeah. Well,
That's
go
how
look
Drew
at his
does
house
it.
anytime. Oh, I got some
right.
dirt on this one. I need a new one.
Yeah.
Likely.
So funny. All right. So
When in doubt, gas.
now
Gas
that
is your friend.
you both had your turn, it's my turn.
Okay. Golfing,
No,
swimming.
No golfing. No. Nice,
Concerts.
Nice weekend. Spent it with my sister and the dogs because it was my sister's birthday, and today is Boo's first birthday, her puppy. So we had a
Wonderful.
little puppy birthday party and did all the things. But I have a big announcement to make.
Uh-oh.
This is very exciting news. Are you ready?
Are you leaving? Please tell me no.
Would that be exciting news?
No, that'd be horrible news. But
you.
for you, it'd be exciting
Well,
because you
that's
golf
true.
every day then,
Yeah.
instead of most days.
No, I'm not leaving.
Okay.
No,
All
no,
right.
I'm adding a title to my name though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
President? You're running for president?
No, I'm actually
Something
gonna,
more important.
more important.
More important than president?
Yes,
Wow.
I'm going to be a grandmother.
Uh-oh.
Yay.
My daughter Delaney and her husband Mateo are expecting our first grandbaby.
So do we have to change the name of the show to Grandma Leza Live?
Might as well. We might as well. But isn't that exciting?
Gam Gam
Yeah.
Live?
Yeah, I'm going to be called Gemma
Gemma Live?
because we used to call me G-Ma when we talk about my grand puppies, right? And it kind of just turned into Gemma.
Good.
So, yeah, I'm so excited to get to join Drew and all the other grandparents out there who have just told me that this is the best thing you're ever going to experience in your whole life. And I'm like, better than kids? Better
Oh,
than your
much
own
better.
baby?
Much better.
How come? I mean,
Much
I just
better.
yeah, I just can't wrap my head around it until you do it. You know, kind of like becoming a parent. You can't wrap your head around loving something so much until you actually have your own kid. And so I listen, I hear you, but I just can't imagine it.
Well, it'll be, Grandma, can you come by? And you'll go, okay, I'll hang up and be there in 20 minutes. And there's just there's no hesitation.
Yeah.
And you get to love them differently because you did your job as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get to enjoy to have the enjoyment of being a grandparent, kind of like on the sideline, but you don't have to have it's not the responsibility because you're still
Right.
responsible.
Right.
But it's just totally different, and it's neat. It's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, well, I cannot wait. So excited.
Well, let's
And-
make sure Scott's listening. Scott, start saving money now because you're going to go through. Oh, the kid needs this. Oh, I saw
Right.
that. That would be cute for the
Oh,
kid.
yeah.
And you don't even look at the price. You just get it.
just
You put it in
get
the
it.
basket, and you're done.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the first thing
Good for
Scott
you.
said was he needs a big wagon. He's like, I need a big wagon. So
and
yeah.
another motorcycle.
At this point, it'd be a
little
mini
mini,
bike, but
a
it's
little
okay.
mini. Yeah.
A 50cc.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're just over the moon excited. Delaney and Mateo posted it this weekend, and I got to share it. And so, she's just glowing. It's so interesting to see your baby carrying a baby. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
it's just like wow. And how fast this has all happened. You know what I mean? I mean, from having her and to my child having a child, it just seems like a blur. Yeah.
Don't look at me. I have
Oh.
no clue.
No, I know you don't.
None.
Well, you look at Ken Bennett, who comes on here,
Mm-hmm.
and he gives his title of, I was a congressman,
Yeah.
but the most important title
Right.
he has is Grandpa.
Is Grandpa.
And he's got 10.
Yeah, I can't
We got
imagine.
total between the two of us. We have 7.
Yeah.
And it's nice to start because when it starts going, it's really cool.
Right.
It's just a good thing. And
Right. Yeah.
it completes that circle. Now
Yeah.
you're done. You made the whole lap.
Yeah.
You made the whole loop around the thing. So it'll be
very
good.
excited. I'm very excited.
You
I'm
should be.
holding back the tears. So that's my big announcement. I'm absolutely thrilled and can't wait. Can't wait. But also today I was thinking, I really want time to slow down. Right now, I want it to slow down a little bit just because the world is going to change for our entire family. We all went boating on Friday, and it was the whole family, the kids and their husbands and all the dogs. And it was like, maybe next summer it'll be different. And, for the better, of course.
You'll have one more.
Yeah. And it's just like, wow,
Yeah.
I'm getting a little verklempt just talking about it.
It's going to be good. It's
Oh, yeah,
gonna be
in a good
fun.
way. No, in a good way, not a
Yeah.
sad way.
Yeah.
These are tears of joy. So anyway,
it-
that's my big announcement.
Do you know if it's going to be a male or a female
It's going to
yet?
be a little girl.
Oh, wonderful.
I know. My little girl's having a little girl. Yes.
Scott, you're
Yeah.
down. He's done. That
Well,
little girl's going to look at him.
Yeah.
And I got news for you.
Yeah.
She's going to be up here,
Uh-huh.
and then there's going to be a drop to you.
Yeah.
That's the way that one works.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, that's how it worked with the daughters.
Absolutely.
He's a girl dad through and through, and he's so enjoyed having sons-in-laws. I mean, just
yeah.
It's all just been so wonderful. All been so wonderful. So anyway, we had a wedding in February, and now we're expecting a grandbaby. Different daughter, but still everybody's doing their thing, and we're just really excited. So there, I got to share my big news. So thank you.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Well, gee, how do you follow that?
Well, it's going to be only 92 today.
Oh, okay.
Drew
Well,
goes right into the weather.
Yes. I didn't know what to come up with.
All right. Good. Very good.
All
Okay.
right.
So it's going to be 92. Any rain in the forecast? Now that would be good news.
Come on now.
No.
No,
We
we're
got
go-
our
we're-
one and done, huh?
Yeah, we're going to be 92 today.
Yeah.
And then for Tuesday and Wednesday, 95. But Wednesday, we do have a 30% chance of some showers.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, so
Okay.
so this last rain, the water went in, soaked into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to get some heat. It'll bring it back up, and we should start the cycle again.
All right. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, literally Tuesday night, 10%.
Yeah.
Wednesday, 30%. But
Okay. And then Thursday, 50%? Friday, 70%?
I'm going to say 40.
Okay.
Got to get
I'll
that
take-
dance out.
I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah,
the
get the
40.
naked dance going, get the rain dance, whatever we need to do.
You know, if you two will join in on the naked dance, we might see some.
Oh no. If I join in, there will never be rain again.
I was thinking it'd be a deluge and we'd be flooded.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
Give it a try, will ya? Give it a try. It's very easy.
All right. Neighbors might complain again, but it's fine. I'm new in there. They'll learn.
You've got new blinds and new curtains. You'll be fine. Do it inside the
No,
house.
it has to be outside or else it doesn't work.
In the dark. You do it outside
I
in the
don't-
dark, under the
No.
stars.
I don't want it to rain inside.
On the patio during the daytime.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's move on. I was going to say, this is how you follow up that big announcement. We have a very special guest returning to the show.
Yes.
It's the return of Montoya Monday, everybody, here
Woo!
on Leza
Yeah.
Live. Brandon Montoya, Prescott City Councilman, will be sitting in. The line is open if you want to call him and ask him questions or just congratulate him on a well-run race for mayor of the city of Prescott. We've got lots of questions for him, and he's coming up next here on Leza Live. Stay with us.
Is that what all that paper is?
Yeah, I did a lot of show
That's
prep.
a lot.
Did a lot of show prep. I got lots of questions, Brandon. I hope
Uh-oh.
you're ready for them.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you guys, talking about these hot days, they can bring higher bills, as I'm sure you've noticed. It's time for an HVAC checkup from AC Medic Heating and Air in Prescott. They'll fine-tune your system, catch problems before they start, and keep you comfortable all summer long. Don't wait till it breaks down. Schedule your service today with the local pros who put customers first. And this is super cool. All seniors, veterans, and first responders get at least 10% off all repairs. Take down the number. You're going to need it eventually. Give them a call, 928-848-6224. Again, that's 928-848-6224 for AC Medic Heating and Air, your trusted first responder for comfort. Welcome back to Leza Live on the News, 103.5 FM KYCA. Before we get to Montoya Monday, we have a caller on the line who won the Heart tickets last week and went to the concert on Saturday. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning.
Tell us, how was the concert?
Well, I would have to say, number one, it was an adventure,
Okay.
and it was also a gift. Navigating the Ticketmaster was truly a challenge for us.
Yeah.
But it took us 2 days to figure it out, but we got it done.
Okay.
And Todd Rundgren, his voice was still as recognizable as ever,
Oh,
and
how
his
nice.
guitar skills certainly haven't diminished for his age. I was astounded. He's 77 years old.
Wow. God bless him.
It just blew me away. And Ann and Nancy Wilson, the same thing. I mean, they sounded exactly the same.
That's so
And they
cool.
too. Ann is 75 and Nancy is 71. And when they sang Crazy,
Yeah.
the crowd just roared. It was amazing.
Barracuda?
What's that?
Did they do Barracuda?
I don't know. We
Okay.
didn't stay for the whole thing.
Okay.
It was
I'm
just,
sure they did. Yeah.
I have to say
of my
that my
favorites.
one complaint, where we were sitting, the speakers were right above our heads.
Oh, okay.
And
So
it
it was
and
loud.
it was so loud.
Yeah.
My ears were actually hurting by
Oh,
the time
dear.
we left.
I
But I have to say, it was such a memory. Such a memory.
Oh,
Aw.
well, wonderful. I'm so glad you got to go, Sharon. I'm so glad we were able to hook you up.
Well, and the other thing is because we finally navigated the Ticketmaster, we actually signed on to go to Mannheim Steamroller.
Oh, there you
something
go.
There you go.
I've wanted to do for decades.
Wonderful.
So it really was a gift. Thank
Well,
you.
You're so welcome, Sharon. So glad you got to go, and thank you for calling in to report on the concert on Saturday.
You bet.
All
Have
right.
a great day.
You have a great day, too. Thank you.
You bet.
Aw, that's so great.
She was clearly very touched.
She
That
was
great.
touched. When she called in and she won them, she got a little emotional as well. I mean,
Aw.
that feels so good, right?
Oh, that's why you do it, right?
Yes. So welcome back, Montoya Monday.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had you on.
Months.
Yeah, months and months.
and months.
We've missed you so
Oh,
much,
I missed you
haven't
guys
we,
too.
Maddie?
I've still been listening.
Oh, thank you.
I know
Thank
I
you.
have for sure.
Yes.
Bring
and
some
now,
more youth in here.
Hey
oh yeah, I
now.
looked right at Drew.
Hey
I
now.
didn't look at you, Lisa.
Well, and you've agreed to come back every Monday for
Did I?
eternity, right?
We'll have to talk about that.
Right. Yeah, you're a very busy man, and I appreciate you taking the time out to come. in
Oh
this
yeah,
morning.
it's a busy day.
Yes, busy day. So I have a question right off the top, and I'm just we'll just get
Just
right into
just
it.
to be clear, like
Yeah.
Barracuda. I mean, I like Crazy too.
Yeah.
But Barracuda, like, it's a good song.
That's hard. Yeah, I mean that's the song you think of.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
Barracuda's
dun,
just
dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun,
it's
dun,
just got
dun,
that
dun,
lick.
dun. Wah, dun, dun, dun.
Look at you. Holy moly.
Obviously, you don't listen that much. She sings all the time.
Just give me an opportunity.
That's
Just
true.
open that door. I'm gonna walk right through it. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well,
No, I wasn't impressed that she was singing. I was impressed that she could get the guitar licks like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
I'm a professional.
Yeah,
I'm a pro.
Clearly.
A self-proclaimed pro, right?
You're getting paid, right?
Yeah, that's exactly
Oh.
right. So we have so much to talk about. I
Let's
mean,
get
I don't even
into
know
it.
where to begin, but I'm just going to start with today.
Sure.
Despite the efforts to stop it, will council canvass the votes from the August 4th election?
Certify the canvas.
Yeah,
You know,
certify the canvass.
It's a good question. I don't know. We had a hard time establishing quorum for this meeting because part of the reason we're doing this now, and it's, I guess something that's changed in state statute in the last year,
Mhm.
where they say you have to do it within a much shorter time period.
Okay.
And so there is a bunch of conflicts that are happening in the next week or so that,
Okay.
that create problems. One of them is that Arizona League of Cities and Towns is hosting their annual conference. And so a whole bunch of council members are going down for that. So
Okay.
getting quorum around that was a hard thing. It's summertime. People are traveling, so nailing down people's schedules. And so this was the day that, we were able to kind of establish, hey, we can get enough quorum there. In fact, initially my plan was, frankly, not to go to this, not because I didn't want to, but
Mhm.
because on Mondays, I usually pick up my son from school, and then we hang out downtown, and kind of it's the little daddy son date thing we
Sure.
do once a week.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I think they can handle this pretty straightforward ministerial duty without me. But in light of some of the noise that has been made about this, I will be there today
Yeah.
because it's just it feels necessary, and I think for me, this is something that's fundamental to democracy in my mind, right?
Yeah.
Here I am, a sitting council person, and I'm going to certify or be part of the process of certifying, and hopefully we do certify the election where I lost. I lost, and not by a little, not by, it was a pretty big margin that I lost by. But to me, that's how it works. Like
Right.
I was telling Jason before I walked in here, and I was, mentioned to someone on Facebook this weekend too, because I had a couple posts that got people's attention.
Yes.
And I said, it's no different to me than when I sit down and play Monopoly with my son, or my daughter for that matter, who's going off to college tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Wow.
And so it's no different than the way I taught them to play games, where we talk about the rules beforehand. Everybody knows how it works. We kind of agree. And then every so often, my son, he's very, strong-willed, will be annoyed that he lost, right? And he'll be like, well, that wasn't fair.
Right.
And we played by the rules, and this is possible outcome. And that's, I guess to me, that's, I heard you guys talking about raising kids and having grandkids. And to me, I think it's something so fundamental that we teach our kids, hey, you agree to play by the rules. You don't change the rules in the middle of the game, and you
Right.
don't change the rules after the game to get the result you want.
Right.
And it's unfortunate. I mean, when I ran 4 years ago for council, I was very pleased to win outright on the August election. But I knew that there were 3 possible outcomes.
Right.
There was an outcome where I could have won outright, which I was lucky enough to do. I could have lost. I could have been eliminated. Steve Blair and Jim Lamerson in that election were eliminated. Or I could have had to go on into the general election. And in fact, there's some people saying that, well, the way we're tabulating the system, isn't fair or isn't right, or it's not within the spirit of the charter language. And I fundamentally disagree with that. But I think about that election 4 years ago.
Right.
And there was a young woman, Jessica Hall, right? She did not meet the same threshold that Eric Moore and I did. And so she had to go on to November. And she even had to go on after Grant Casada, who was the next highest vote getter after her. He dropped out and said, she got more votes than me. I'm going to step aside. I think it's the gentlemanly thing to do. She still had to get duly elected in November. That's the way it works.
Right.
And it's one thing, I'll clarify. It's one thing if people are saying, in hindsight of this election, let's change the system. Let's do a charter amendment process. Let's make this clearer, easier to understand. I'll be the first to admit, it is not always the clearest and easiest to understand, right?
Okay.
For me, on the election night, it was really clear because there was a binary result, right? Kathy Rusing was able to win. I lost. There was a wide margin there. That was easy.
Right.
For council candidates, there was some confusion. Initially, some people thought that 2 people had prevailed. More votes came in and changed that threshold that you had to get a majority, and that's the way it goes.
Right.
That's always a possibility.
Right.
And I guess to me, it's the calculation process is not totally easy to understand for someone who's not invested in it. But one of the things I think about, and I know this is the case because it was the case 4 years ago with our city clerk who was there, who is still our city clerk, same city clerk. She gives, when you go to pull paperwork, and she gives you your, here's your statement of interest, here's your statement of organization. I'm running for office. She hands you a copy of the city charter.
Right.
Everybody gets it. So it's like the beginning of the game, everybody has the rule book.
Right.
There's no questions.
Right.
And so I guess my question to folks who are objecting to this process is, where were you 4 years ago when there was a candidate who easily was within this, state statute, permissive statute that is a statute that cities can use, but does not supersede charters.
Right.
We're a charter city.
Right.
We set our own rules. This is how it works. And so to me, I'm kind of like, this is pretty clear. And on top of it, and I give a lot of credit to our city attorney and our city clerk because they both have pretty good knowledge about this stuff. Our city attorney used to work in a county attorney's office where they are literally always dealing with election. Counties are in Arizona. Those are the people who administer the elections. That's who administered this election was Yavapai County. So he has a ton of experience, Joe Young specifically, in election law. but they went outside of the city to a law firm, Pearson Coleman, and they got a opinion from a woman, two people, but the woman specifically is probably the premier election attorney in the state of Arizona.
Okay.
And this person said, this is how you have to do it.
Right.
Because it's consistent with how you have to do it. And for those who would say, well, don't certify this election, it would set up this thing of, well, then do we go back and look at every election we've done over the last 10 years and change those rules and change the outcomes? And then do we void out all the decisions that people who were part of a vote it becomes a mess.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, democracy is messy. It's kind of ugly sometimes. And it's, in this case, it'll be costly. Like we'll have to run another election. That'll cost money.
Right.
But I wouldn't want it any other way.
Right. That's how we set it up.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll change after this election? Do you think that it should?
That's a good question. I guess here's the question I have for because there's a couple different things that people are throwing out. One of them is, how do you tabulate, if someone there's this undervote system that's at play in the primary election where I can vote for mayor, I can vote for the propositions, and then I can vote for one city council candidate.
Right.
Or I can vote for two, or I can vote for three, or I can even vote for none.
Right.
And the question becomes is someone turning in a ballot who votes for no city council person, is that not a vote too? I mean, to me, that seems like a vote, right?
Yeah.
That's a no confidence vote. They're saying there are 5 people running. I didn't like any of them.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a guy who commented on one of my Facebook posts today. He said, I didn't vote for any of the 5 people because I didn't like any of them. And that's, again, to me, that's his choice, and that's right. I voted in the council election, and I think it just, when you start to tiptoe to this line of saying if you don't cast a vote at all, then your vote doesn't matter. Like if you're turning in a ballot and you leave something blank, does that mean your entire ballot is invalidated? I don't think it should.
No.
There are people, I remember before I was involved in local politics, and I was admittedly a little bit more ignorant and less informed about issues than I try to be now because I was younger. There was propositions that would come through on the state level, and I would look at it and I'd be like, I don't understand this enough to have an opinion about it. Like it's, and there's all this history of, propositions where it's like yes means no, and they do all these tricks to kind of be like, we're trying to save the restaurants, and well, wait a minute, what are you really doing? And it's confusing, and you're going to mess around with tips. And this was the last election we just had, the general election we had, where there was this tips-based proposition for the statewide, and it was really confusing. And my daughter, who works in the service industry,
right,
because it affected her, she did a bunch of research, and she's like, Dad, you should vote this way.
Yeah.
And so but I think there is a right to say none of the above.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to take a break. We'll come back more with Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya. The lines are open, 928-541-1016. Is this the first time you've talked publicly since the election?
I think so.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I think so.
We appreciate you. And we'll be right back with that here on Leza Live. So, from drinking, cooking to bathing, imagine every faucet in your home with safer, cleaner water from a whole home water filtration system from H2O Health Water and Health Solutions. This is a game changer. I tell you what, they build whole home custom water systems that are able to remove all sorts of things that are coming through your faucet right now. That you're drinking, you're taking in daily, you're bathing in it, you're washing in it, you're cooking with it. This system can remove or reduce pesticides, herbicides, arsenic, radium, uranium, and many other toxic chemicals and bacteria you don't want to be drinking every day. Plus, it makes your water taste so good. There's no little floaties in your water. It's crisp, it's clean, it's delicious. If you're interested to learn more, head on up to H2O Health Water and Health Solutions in the Pine Ridge Marketplace, or you can give them a call, make an appointment for a free consultation, 928-899-7504. They'll tell you how you can either have a filter or you can be a filter. It's your choice. Again, the number, 928-899-7504, and be sure to tell them Leza sent you. Welcome back to Leza Live on the News, 103.5 FM KYCA, Montoya Monday. We have Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya in this morning. I didn't get to do this, or I should have done this. Congratulations on a really well-run election. We all appreciate the transparency, the integrity, and I think you earned a lot of respect the way you ran your election.
You know,
and your campaign.
I appreciate you saying that, especially since I know that you made a choice not to vote for me.
I couldn't vote.
I know.
I couldn't vote. I'm not in the city.
I'm kidding.
I wanted to, and I would have.
Yeah,
I would have.
It's fine.
All right.
I appreciate you saying that, though.
Yes.
I really, you know, and the night of the election, after I got the results, I took a moment. I was at my watch party down at the Fairweather, and I took a moment to call Kathy and congratulate her and say, you know, congratulations. And I think that's, you know, to me, that's the Prescott I grew up in, is that, you know, you can disagree without being disagreeable.
Exactly. We have Steve Blair on the line. Good morning, Mr. Blair.
Good morning, youngsters. How are you?
We're good. You got a question for Brandon this morning?
Not necessarily a question, but a statement. The charter is very clear. It's not votes. It's ballots cast. And when they start monkeying with the system, that means they're going to have to change the way that candidates collect signatures to get on the ballot, because they're based upon how many ballots were cast in the last election, not the votes.
Yeah.
Ballots. And that's what is very clear in the charter, and people need to quit monkeying with it.
Yeah.
Steve, I wholeheartedly agree. And again, to me, you know, I was talking about it a moment ago, and I just said, you know, every council candidate, every prospective mayor candidate gets a copy of the charter when they run. And, you know, you don't get to change the rules in the middle of the game or after the results come out in a way that you didn't like.
That's exactly right.
And they, you know, and I guess the last thing, and then I appreciate what you're talking about. And last thing is generally speaking, there's always been a general election because there's always propositions on that general election. So for people to be squawking about it's going to cost $185,000, $186,000 in this runoff election just to see who a council person is, that's not necessarily true, and they're not telling the truth.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And in fact, on this particular general ballot, we are going to have a franchise agreement.
I'll let you guys go.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you did, Brandon.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Thanks for calling.
Take care.
Yeah, to Steve's point, there is, in this coming general election, there'll be a proposition ballot. Now, where it gets a little gray is that franchise agreements, so in this case, I think it's APS is putting their franchise agreement, so they have to adopt a new franchise agreement with city. So Unisource does it every 10 years, I think, and APS does as well. And they do pay their portion of it, right? So that part is paid for. But it's, you know, again, this is always a possibility. And you could change it, and you could say, well, we're not going to have primary elections anymore. We're just going to have general elections. That's an option you could do, I suppose, too. I think it, you know, I kind of go to this thing like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I don't think just because you didn't get the results you wanted that it's broken, right? Like that's, again, and you know, people can disagree, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, if the next city council decides to take this up as a charter initiative to fix. I think personally there are other more important things in the charter that need our attention, but you know, I could be wrong.
Tell me what's going to happen if it doesn't get certified today.
So I had a lengthy conversation with our city attorney yesterday about this, because he and I think the city clerk spent a lot of the weekend talking to a lot of folks, and there's a lot of confusion and kind of, for lack of a better way to put it, misinformation going around. And he said, yeah, we'll be in uncharted territory if we don't certify.
Right.
And the other part of the certification process is it's not as if we can pick out the not certifying the council race,
right,
and then certify the mayor race,
exactly,
and certify the propositions.
Right.
If we don't certify, we're not certifying those results. And again, I think, again, my son, who he's going to be in council chambers today because his mom's going to drop him off, and she's going to pick him up today, and then she's going to drop him off and he will watch his dad, hopefully, you know, certify an election where he lost. And I think that's that's a teachable moment for my son.
Absolutely.
Even when you lose, you still agree to the results.
Exactly.
And again, it's an excellent question, and it is uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Not certifying elections. It would be one thing if they were saying, gosh, there's these massive anomalies. There's all these questions around the ballots, or certain, like there was an astronomical amount of ballots that got rejected by the county, but nobody is saying that.
Right. Okay. Were you surprised by the results?
That's a good question. I think, yes and no, right? I think in my mind, I feel like I ran a really good campaign. And I tried to, I was always, I never once attacked my opponent. I was congenial to every person running for office. I was even congenial to the propositions. I pushed out information supporting the home rule proposition. I pushed out information supporting the open space proposition. So, and there are people who voted for me who didn't vote for that proposition, for instance, right? And so to me, I think, was I surprised? No, because I think, there were a couple headwinds that were pretty strong. Kathy Rusing she's more of a known quantity than I am, right? She's been, the Rusing name has been around longer than the Montoya name in Prescott. I was the one who brought the Montoya name to Prescott. So, or I guess my parents were, but, they weren't running for office or starting businesses like I have. But I think, so there was that piece. And then, Save the Dells is a pretty powerful PAC, and so their endorsement carries a lot of weight. And I think some people kind of say, well, what does Save the Dells say? And then we'll go with what they say. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, right? I'm just saying there's a lot of people who do that.
Right.
But I'll tell you, when I was preparing for this meeting over the weekend that we're going to have today, part of the packet is the canvassing results, right? And they have all the precinct breakdowns, right? And so I was looking at it, I was like, and I had not seen this information until this weekend because, I hadn't looked at it. I just looked at the top line results, right? And I lost every single precinct in Prescott. Every single precinct. And there were some where I didn't break 40%, and there was none that I broke 45%. And so that was surprising to me because I spent a lot of time and energy like getting out into neighborhoods and talking to people.
Right.
But, I respect it. It's not what I wanted, but that's the way it goes.
Right.
And I'm proud of what I did.
You take that chance when you run, right?
Yeah. And I'm proud of what I did. And
you should be.
And I think, it's, again, for me as a parent, it's a message that I can show to my kids. Like, hey, you do your best, and sometimes you don't win, sometimes you don't get. And they've seen the other side too, right? They were there 4 years ago when I ran and won, and so I think they get to see that part, and they get to see this part. And and the other thing for me is, unlike some folks, when it comes to city council, this isn't the focal point of my existence, right? Like I have such a rich and varied life, and Kathy, to her credit, she made part of her campaign that she was going to be a full-time mayor, that she's going to be there day in, day out, 9 to 5. I have no idea what kind of hours she'll get. I'm just making things up, but I was like, I'm not going to do that because I have faith in the city staff. I have faith in the city manager. I have faith in the various city leadership. I respect the autonomy of the rest of council to also kind of be part of that process.
Absolutely.
And that was not a message that won.
Right.
So that's the way it goes.
It's become a question. Does the mayor need to be a full-time job? I mean, that's a question which we can't answer right now because we got to take a quick break. Yeah. Okay, more with Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya coming up here on Leza Live. So this is pretty cool. I had my babies with Prescott Women's Clinic, and now my baby is going to Prescott Women's Clinic because she's having a baby. I mean, that says something, I think. This business has been in our area taking care of women for over 40 years. And if you're looking for a women's clinic where you feel comfortable, heard, and respected, that's what you're going to get at Prescott Women's Clinic. Whether it's your first visit or your 50th, they make the whole process feel less intimidating, more personal, like talking with somebody who's on your team. If you need an appointment, you've been putting it off, give them a call, 928-778-4300, or you can learn more online at PrescottWomen'sClinic.com. Welcome back to Leza Live on the News, 103.5 FM, KYCA. Chit-chatting with Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya. This morning we have Jim Lamerson on the line. Good morning.
Well, good morning. How are you, Leza?
I'm doing great.
Morning,
Thank
Jim.
you.
Hey, Brandon. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I am above ground, so it's a good day in Montoya world.
Yeah, well, listen, you're right. You got to put everything into perspective. It's not the end of the world, Losing an election hurts.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? You're still here.
Yep.
Yeah.
You didn't lose one of your kids. I mean, it is what it is. So
Yeah.
I wanted to call you and tell you I really appreciated the class in which you ran your election.
Thank you, Jim. That means a lot.
Yeah, I really appreciated the fact that you didn't badmouth anybody. And, for better or for worse, Kathy won, okay? So congratulations, Kathy. Now let's move forward. How can I help?
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Right.
That's what we got to do, and I really appreciate you taking the high road and understanding that, there may be some things that you can still offer to help her, and we could be a better community or a different community than what we already are.
Yeah.
So don't be a stranger.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Jim, and I appreciate you. After the last, I think, 2 or 3 election cycles, you've written a letter to the editor, kind of stating the same thing, and I always think it's a classy thing to do. I think you were the first person who I remember saying this, but I don't think anybody runs for councilor or mayor without a deep love of the city of Prescott.
That's right, and it
Right.
takes a lot of courage, and there's a price that you have to be willing to pay.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you, having been there for 4 consecutive terms, you pay it, your family pays it, your kids pay it. I mean, the whole thing is that you have to be prepared to pay that price. And you were not a coward. You stood up and said, I'm going to take this on, and I'm going to see if I can bring what I want to do in the city to the public. And you were like me. You were rejected. Okay, now, I got a life. I got somewhere to go.
Right.
Go, and so do you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
You're not
All
going
right.
anywhere, right? You're not going anywhere.
No.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for
All
calling
right,
in.
you guys have a nice day.
Thank you. Okay, we have to take one more quick
Do
break.
it. Do it.
And then when we come back, Jim, you brought it up. Jim writes letters to the editor. Yeah, I hear that you've written a letter to the editor.
Yeah, I'd love to share it.
And he's going to share it with us here. Coming up on Leza Live. Stay with us. Welcome back to Leza Live on the News, 103.5 FM KYCA. Prescott City Councilman Brandon Montoya, our guest this morning. And you just wrote this letter to the editor last night?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
Well,
right.
so the kind of the genesis for this was I did 2 different Facebook posts over the past week, as initially folks were kind of, setting up the letter that I'll read in a second here, folks were initially like, well, we need to get more verification that this process is right within state law.
Right.
And so then the city did. They got
Yep.
Pearson Coleman
Right.
and the woman I mentioned before, who's a very qualified attorney, and probably the premier election attorney in the state, to kind of provide a legal opinion. And then all of a sudden, then the goalpost moved again, right? And so I made another post, and then someone reached out to me and said, you really ought to, I have 2,000 Facebook friends, but I don't know how many of those people are Prescott or not. And they said, well, you ought to write a letter to the editor. And so I wrote one.
Okay, well, let's
And
hear it.
I'll read it. So here's what it says. It says, losing an election or not getting the result you hope for is hard. And as someone who just experienced it, I understand that more than most people in Prescott right now. But disliking an outcome and then searching for a permissive statute or legal loophole to change the rules after the fact undermines the very principles of democracy. Frankly, it's wrong. Last week, I called out the tactic of challenging the outcome of the election as reckless and dangerous. In response, some argued that I was being offensive to voters or even inappropriate for raising the concern. Others suggested that candidates and their supporters were simply seeking clarity. On August 15th, however, the city received a legal opinion from an outside law firm authored by an attorney with experience in the governor's office and as an executive counsel to the Secretary of State. That opinion affirmed the city's process, yet almost immediately the goalpost shifted with calls for the city council not to certify the election at all. Let's be clear, this isn't about clarity. It's about trying to change the rules after the fact. That is not democracy, nor is it respecting the will of the voters. We should expect more of those who step forward to lead our community. Prescott deserves candidates who rise above sour grapes and poor sportsmanship. Our community deserves better.
Very nice. Nicely said.
Yeah. Well, and it was from my heart, right?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think there is some sense of, in our last general election, right? You had Donald Trump, you had Kamala Harris, right? Kamala Harris was the vice president. And so part of the election process is that she sat in the Senate chambers when they certified the loss of her election.
Right.
And I think that says something about, I grew up and I still believe this, that America is the premier place in the world, just period, all things. Best, mountains, best rivers, best lakes, best oceanside, everything about it's great. But one of the things there's two things that I think are really amazing that we do. One of them is we do capitalism better than anyone else in the world. It's why I was able to start a business here, why so many people are. And I think there's that part. I think we do democracy better than anyone else in the world. And so when people kind of undercut that, they're not just like, frankly, and I didn't say this in the letter, they're not merely just being like poor sports about it. They're kind of denigrating our country and our process.
Right.
And as a someone who's lived in Prescott for 75% of my life, right? We were talking in the break about how I think the average length of time that a resident lives here now is probably under 10 years, would be my guess, with a lot of the new people who've retired here. And I think for me, as someone who has spent 75% of my life here, there have been tons of elections where I haven't liked the outcome. There was an election that got rid of water wars, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
And I was a kid. I couldn't vote in that election, but I abided by the results, right?
Like, you do.
And that's kind of the
how
way
it
it works. You know? And it's just so, and I think that's the thing. It feels like if we allow this to proceed, we really, you asked what happens if we don't certify it.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of scary. And again, that you're not just
waters.
you're putting into question the mayoral race, the propositions that passed, and the council race. It's not fair.
We shall see how it all transpires today at
3
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock in city council chambers.
And I have 10,000 more questions for you. So will you come back? I know you will.
I will.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Always.
All right. Thank you for listening. I'll see you on 99.1 at noon.